In every bustling city, where the clatter of life drowns out the quiet, there lurks a whisper, a secret waiting to be unearthed by those curious enough to listen. Tonight, dear listener, I bring you a tale of such quiet dread. A story woven from the very static between the lines. A story I call the Eavesdropper's Receiver. Our story begins with a man named Henry. Henry was a tech agent, a man whose life revolved around repairing radios, televisions, and all things that caught the invisible waves dancing through the air. But Henry, unlike others, possessed a peculiar hobby. He collected old, discarded listening devices, those forgotten relics, meant for catching voices, not meant to be heard. One rainy evening, Henry stumbled upon an unusual receiver at a flea market, a device unlike any other. Ancient, but oddly pristine, with a dial that spun endlessly without settling. Intrigued, he bought it for a pittance and hurried home, eager to see what secrets it might reveal. As Henry twisted the dial that night, the receiver didn't pick up ordinary signals, no radio stations, no police chatter, no mundane background noise. Instead, it caught whispers, subdued conversations that didn't sound alive but definitely weren't dead silence. It was as though the device was tuned not to frequency but to something else entirely. Something between worlds, between moments in time, between life and death. At first, Henry heard faint sobs, distant laughter, murmurs of people who seemed trapped in an eternal twilight. Night after night, the voices grew clearer. They told stories of despair, unfinished business, secrets long buried. He listened to a woman pleading for forgiveness, a man confessing a hidden crime, a child calling out to a lost parent. The voices didn't merely speak, they reached out, desperate for acknowledgement. One midnight, the voice on the receiver was his own. It called to him from some fourth mirror of the future. A warning wrapped in chilling tones. Beware the listener, it said, for the receiver feeds not just on sound, but on your soul's tether. The more you listen, the more you become part of the broadcast. Henry laughed it off, a trick of his mind weary from too many sleepless nights. But the next day, shadows in his house seemed longer. He finds scratches on the walls, as if invisible nails were tracing a message meant only for him. His reflection shifted unnaturally in the window, eyes hollow, lips moving without sound. Desperate, Henry tried to destroy the receiver. He smashed it against the floor. He tossed it into the fire, but it always returned to him, placed silently on his desk when he was away, humming, waiting for him to listen. And listen, he did, becoming a ghost in his own existence, drawn deeper into the eavesdrop confessions of those who never found him. The receiver was a portal, a bridge for voices trapped between life and death, souls caught in an eternal broadcast, crying out to any reading ear to join their spectral congregation. Henry's story ends in their small apartment, where the receiver plays on, its dial loper forever spinning, and the city outside forgets another lonely man swallowed by the static, absorbed into a haunting frequency no one else can hear. So next time you pick up an old radio or hear crackling whispers from a forgotten device, remember Henry and the chilling truth whispered through the ether. Some frequencies are best left untuned. Some voices are meant to remain unheard. For in the world between worlds, the receiver waits, and the listener pays the price.